for ZRL commentary here for the first round of the season at Bahrain. We only have 6 people because 5 people have decided they can't be bothered to show up. So this is going to be an interesting race. Oh, and now one guy's just said he's getting on. I just need to send him a message. Yeah, nice one, mate. You had 30 minutes to join the lobby, and now as soon as we're going without you, you start trying to join. I can't invite you now because we're in the session. Well done. Where were you 35 minutes ago? Where were you 10 minutes ago? Nice one. So we're just waiting for the session to get underway for short qualifying. I'm just going to check something because I don't think I can invite people unless they're already my friend. I can't. Well done. So we are currently... We've got our first car out on track and qualifying. It's Finn F7 or Finn 17 F17. I'm just going to call him Finn because I'm not pronouncing all that shit. We're just watching him get out onto the track now. We'll get all of the apparatus up at the side. And now just behind him is JD Boy. We have got 2 cars now on track, 3 cars out on circuit at the moment. Finn on his outlap. He is seemingly a Sebastian Vettel fan, which supposedly means he's going to either spin or just have a lack of wheel knowledge. But we're going to now move in towards middle sector here. Car is clearly very twitchy. It's because he's on controller, and I can tell he's on controller because he does flick steering. I haven't done that since since it's like 2013 when I first started playing F1 games, when I was like 8. Hold on, I just need to send this guy a message. Now we move on towards Finn's lap here. He's shifting up through the gears. Oh, and he's... What? Is he trying to start from the back? Okay, that's a new one. And now JD Boy's on his lap instead. Comes through turns 1, 2 and 3. I can tell he's using full traction control. We're going through the first sector now. So now JD Boy's come through the second sector. Sorry for that. I was just busy responding to some cunt who doesn't realise that if you don't give anyone any notice that you're not going to be turning up, and then they start without you, you can't really expect them to just get back on. He's having to go at me because he's the one who refused. He just didn't tell anyone. He's like, oh, sometimes things change. Yeah, sometimes things change, and you tell the people that things have changed so that they can work around you. It's not fucking rocket science, is it? Cinzio goes to the top of the time. She has a 130.1. Mate, don't complain about your bad planning. It's not our bad planning that hasn't let you do this race. Having a go at me because I'm the one who's saying if you wanted to be in this league race, you had to turn up on time. I understand things might have gone awry in your personal life, but that doesn't mean we can take the brunt for you not being able to join your fat gym. Anyway, Squash Designs has gone into P2 with a 1 minute 30.438. I like beers. I can tell these guys aren't the best with league racing, but we all have to start somewhere. And now I Like Beers coming up towards the second sector. I will be more involved with the commentary during the race, don't worry. It's just very flat and boring at the moment. And now I Like Beers coming around the final corner. And he goes top. That's a 1 minute 29.57. Good one from him there. To go to the top of the timesheet. It seems that Sinyo is going for another lap. So let's see on board of him as we come through the first sector now. And now he's coming through here. And we see coming in towards turn 8 now. He'll be coming in towards sector 2. So now, Sinyo coming up towards the last sector. And in towards the final corner we come. Let's see what he can do coming around the final corner. It's hard typing and texting and commentating at once. He goes 129.984, which is pretty impressive considering he didn't use all of his available ERS. Obviously, I Like Beers is coming around the final corner, but something tells me he's coming straight into the pits. He's decided to stay out. Oh no, he hasn't. He's decided to come in. Okay. Let me just quickly invite, what's his face? Finn. And now Limpan is on a flyer, it seems. Coming out of sector, coming towards turn 4, brakes just before the 50-meter board, turns the car in, gets it rotated, kind of goes all the way to the outside, but that's more artificial. He kind of turned a bit too much through that corner. It kind of kills the speed. And now coming in towards turn 8, nicely done. And now in towards turn 9 and 10. Let's see what he does coming up towards the Sector 2 split here. Is it the Sector 2 split or is it... Yeah, it's before turn 13. I remember when the sector 2 split, I think it used to be there, back when I first started playing the F1 games in around 2012. And now, flying through here, he goes... Obviously, he's not set a valid lap time yet, so I don't really know how a 106.9 compares. It says it's purple, but I don't know how much I should believe that. Coming up towards the final 2 corners on the circuit, braking just before the 50. Tricky corner to get right, because if you hit that curve on the inside, it throws you off, and if you get too far on the curves on the outside, they spit you out. It's looking like a good lap. It is a good lap. He goes to the top. It's a 1 minute 29.065. Good job from him there to get into the advanced position, and now a squash in the McLaren is pushing for a lap as we come through on towards the main straight. Let's see what he can do, and we'll actually go on board and throughout the entire lap, I think, here. Brakes at the 100, turns the car in, a bit hesitant there, and hit the inside curve. If he just braked a bit later, he'd have been a bit less hesitant. As you come through on towards the back straight, in towards turn 4, underneath, down the straight in towards the 4th corner on the circuit. This used to be a lot less tight, but now, sorry, it used to be a lot tighter, but they updated it for 2005 after the first Grand Prix held here. 4 tenths up, which is a very good, because if he keeps improving like that, he's in with a shout for the pole position time. If he can just get another second or so, I know it's easy to say, oh, just get another second or so, but he clearly knows what he's doing. Gets slightly on the curb through turn 9 and 10. You probably want to take a shorter and tighter line through there, especially on controller. You want to get as much space as you can on the way in, so that you don't sacrifice it on the way in the middle part of the corner. Tricky curb there. I've tried driving F1 24 on controller. I drove controller on F1 games for 9 years, 8 years, so I know how it feels when you just can't, and he goes invalid, unfortunately, over the curb a bit too much there. He seems he's turning in a bit too early. He just needs to bear his time on the throttle and in the corners. He's turning a bit less haphazardly. As I like Beers comes towards the end of the first sector, 1/10 up, but he's lost a lot of momentum coming out of the flat of the S's there, and broke very early for turn 8. Quite awkward section for him there. Going down in towards turns 9 and 10, all over the curb, but somehow keeps the braking in a straight line. Not sure how he's managed to keep that on the track, but he has done. Coming up towards the turn 11 braking zone now. At the 50 brakes, locking up, so it seems that he has ABS off. That's good, because it means he's not got one of the assists on. Coming up towards the sector 2 split, what's it going to be for him? A 10th up. If he gets 4 tenths in this last sector, which is a bit of which would be a bit of a miracle, I can't lie, then I might be impressed. But coming up towards the final 2 corners on the it's the final 2 corners on the circuit, because they have this corner, and then this corner is technically also a corner, even though you don't really feel it when you're driving. Now we come up towards the line. 1 minute 29.5. Doesn't actually improve, kind of bottled it on his last sector there. Meanwhile, JD, but he's going to have to be 2 tenths up at the moment. Currently 2 seconds off of the next best car, which isn't the best, I can't lie. He's clearly a new driver to the game. We like a new driver because we can teach them how to drive. But he's just doing well to just keep it, well, mostly on the circuit, tipping it into turns 9 and 10. It can be difficult. Especially this is a game similar to F1 22, and it's just terrible for controller players. I don't like it on wheel either. The whole handling, as he goes wide off the exit there, the whole handling model in this game as he goes invalid, unfortunately for his sake. It's just very stressful having to be in this game on a controller. I have a wheel, luckily. My wheel's currently broken, but when I get this new piece for it, I'm going to be able to go back on it. 5 tenths up for Sinyo, and he made a mistake. He's not good at exploiting the track limits. He's scared of track limits off the exits of these corners, which, I mean, is a very fair point, but he's not approaching the corners using the right lines. He's not going off the corners on the right lines. He could gain about a second in that one sector just by going right up to track limits as he goes second place. I Like Beers is not on a flying lap, but Squash Designs is. We come up towards turns 9 and 10, the tricky braking zone. I remember back when that was an absolute nightmare of a braking zone. And I mean, it still is, but it used to be more so back in the good old days of the F1 games, back in like F1 2013, because the braking zone was longer because the cars were slower. Now in towards the fast sections here. Flat out, no need to lift. 6,000s down on their previous time, so it seems they're struggling. See, if Sinyo was using the same track limits as this guy, he'd be so much quicker. And now across the line, 4 tenths down, unfortunately. So JD Boy has decided to go for another lap, but not this time, obviously. Sinyo's preparing for one. Limpan is still top of the timesheets. Oh, loses the back end. I think he might be trying to get out to the pits. We saw that. He's actually slower probably to do that. And now into the pits he comes. Sinyo is on a lap. So, I mean, currently our only real contender for pole position isn't in the Red Bull. Limpan, very, very robust in his lap time, but can Sinyo better him? He was better in the first sector, but it wasn't enough. If he keeps improving like he is, he's not really going to be enough. Goodish, turn 9 and 10. A bit rough, but you're never going to get a perfect run through that corner. Now onto the back straight. Get right up to track limits. I mean, he's half on that curve. That's close enough. And nicely done through there. Doesn't take the... I mean, he doesn't go all the way to the outside, which is what you really is supposed to do on that corner. 1/10 up. Here we go. It was good enough for him. And again, he's just too scared on the track limits. Get right on the right. Get right on the white line here, and you'll be so much faster. He's doing well, don't get me wrong. To be second place is still decent. But he should be so much more confident with these track limits, as he does go faster, but it's not enough to better his time to pole position. Meanwhile, I Like Beers is trying to make moves on his lap. Gearing up for a hot run here. Now down in towards T1. Nicely turned in. First gear. Yeah, you don't really want to use first gear. I can tell he's in auto gears though, that's fine. We all started out on auto gears. Now in towards T4. And into 5, 6 and 7. 1/10 up. That's currently all he needs to better his position past Sinyo. If he just keeps going like that, keeps improving as he is, then he will already be in prime position to take second place and potentially even the pole position. And now in towards the second sector, as I can't get my words out. Turn 11, nicely turned in, and he actually does take the correct line through there. That's going to give him an extra 10th or 2 on the Mercedes driver. What is it's 6/10 up? This could be pole if he can just keep it all right for these last 2 corners. This could be a pole position lap here. We could see a driver get into the 128s. Now in towards the last corner, or the last braking zone. Now in towards the last corner. He's going to come across the line. Is it going to be pole? Is it going to be the fastest time? Yes, it is! By less than a 10th of a second, he takes it at the death. Meanwhile, Limpan, can he respond with anything? He's currently coming up to turn 4. Turns in, gets it steered. Good exit-ish. What is the second one? Sector 1 split. 1/10 up. He could still be in for this. Flat out through the S, or flat out through the second part of the S, is now in towards turn 8. Good, confident run from him there. No wheel spin off of the corner. Now in towards the tricky turn 9-10 braking zone. If he just pushes it a bit too hard, it's going to go wrong. But he gets it just perfect. This could be another twist in the tail for pole position as we come down towards turn 11. Now we're going to throw it into the fast left-hander, fourth gear, all over the curb. You don't want to do that, and he's losing the back end. That could be it, lost for him. That could be the chance gone. 2 tenths up still. He's still there, though. The rest of the lap was good enough. If you can just keep it together in this final sector, don't overheat the tyres, don't get wheel spin, don't turn in too early, don't get track limits. He's not got any of that to worry about. We're coming towards the final corner, over the curb. He's just about done it, I think. I think this is going to be another pole position. Provisional pole position goes to him, and this time it will be final. A 1 minute 28.8. What a run these two drivers had at the end of the session. We thought Sinyo was in the mix. He wasn't. Limpan takes pole position here in ZRL Z2 for the first race of the season. I like Beers into the pits. He's not happy with that one, weaving his wheel as he enters the pit lane. Wow. Limpan stamping his authority. I like Beers also proving well. Sinyo is only half a second back. And then it's Squash Designs and JD Boy, who is 4 seconds off, or 3.5 seconds off the pace. But he will grow into this. As I like Beers makes his way into the pits. Or is already in his pit box. It seems he hasn't pressed the retire button. And now he has. As I've just realised game chat is on. Right, I've just muted all them guys because I don't want to hear them, to be honest. I'm the commentator. But yeah, that's your qualifying for ZRL Z2 Tier 2, sorry. Limpan, I like Beers, Sinyo, Squash Designs, JD Boy and Finn are your starting order for today's race. We load in towards the event. It will be a 35% race, 20 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit, a circuit that was created for the Formula 1 in 2004. The first ever race held in the Middle East in Formula 1. It wasn't the first night race that happened in Singapore. They switched to night in 2014. They hosted a race around the endurance layout here in 2010, and it was one of the worst layouts in Formula 1 history, but they still did it because it was a 60th anniversary of Formula 1 racing. But with all that being said, I think we're gearing up towards the start of this race. We're waiting for players, it says. We will see when they get underway. I can hear the beep going in my ear, and we count down. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in Bahrain. And it's go, 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 go. Who gets the best start? I think Beers has got the best start as we funnel down towards turn 1 now. He's on the inside. He's pushing for the move. So is Sinyo, though. It could be 3 wide into turn 1, and the Aston Martin on the inside making contact. That was a silly move from the Aston Martin there, but it's Limpan who leads into turn 1 and out of turn 3. But now the momentum is with the Mercedes as we come down towards 4. Will we see a move being made? Yes, we will. Dives to the inside, but gets barged out of the way by Finn, who is making his way up. That was an aggressive move from the Aston Martin again, who doesn't seem to know what racecraft is. I mean, he is a Vettel fan, so what do you expect? As we come down towards turn 8 now, will we see more moves being made? Yellow flags in the background. I think that's the McLaren making a mistake there. As we come down towards the middle sector part of this circuit now, as they sort of back up into each other. Limpan slowing down actually there. So Sinyo is right on the rear wing of the driver in front of him. Will he potentially look to send a dive? No, he doesn't. The Aston Martin is there, though. The Aston Martin, I think, must have some sort of wing damage, surely, from all that bumping and barging into turn 1. But around the outside, potentially for Sinyo. Is he going to send it? No, he doesn't. But he might try and get the under and over in towards the last corner on the circuit, and he's going to pull alongside. Ducks out of the slipstream, ducks back in, ducks back out again, in towards The last corner. Is he going to make this stick? No. The line got compromised there for him, and that will be to his detriment down the back straight. Finn, I thought he was going into the pits then. I thought he had damage. I don't know why he was pulling so far aggressively to the inside. But now, Sinyo back to the inside on the Red Bull in front of him. Limpan makes the move. He makes the move on Limpan, sorry. And now he's done it. He's now into that first position. But Limpan will have DRS for the car in front of him. Weaving all over the straight already. I call that, I mean, I think it's a bit extreme, but it's borderline. I'd personally just allow that. It's 6 drivers. He's not going to harm anyone. But now, on lap 2, it is Sinyo, followed by Limpan, followed by Finn, followed by I Like Beers, JD Boy, and Squash Designs, currently rounding out the 6-car field. We have a small field for this race, but it doesn't mean we're not having good entertainment as of yet, as we come on towards the second lap of this circuit. There's a lot still to be run in this race, so you don't want to make any mistakes if you don't have to. As Finn gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings already on lap 2. Multiple warnings being given out. As now Limpan can catch up to the back of Sinyo. Sinyo, doing his weaving on the straight, has made it so that he is he's not taking the right lines into the corner. He didn't get fully back to the outside there for turn 11, and that's compromised his run. And now it's Limpan. He won't have DRS for this straight, but he'll have it for the next one. Sinyo needs to stop it with this aggressive I get it. Go to the inside of the major straights, but he don't need to go to the inside of every single straight like he's going to just get past you on every single one of them. He will have DRS. Sinyo will potentially block here. He pulls to the inside. What a surprise. But I think Limpan might be able to just go round his outside here. Goes round the outside in towards turn 1. Are we going to see a move? Round the outside he goes. What a move. He's going to stick it to the Mercedes. Mercedes versus Red Bull at Bahrain. Where have we seen this before? He's off. I thought he was lost. He's lost it. But he's managed to get back on the circuit without any ramifications in terms of position. But he's out of the DRS now. Sinyo pulls the gap. I'm not sure who was at fault for that contact there. It seemed like Sinyo was being very aggressive though, coming in towards throughout the entire first 2 laps of this Grand Prix. But now we come down towards the middle sector as Squash Designs gets his own 3-second time penalty. To be honest, I don't think this lobby is really good enough to really use strict corner cutting. I hope Z1's a lot better than this in terms of driving standard, in terms of pace. And in terms of cleanliness. And look, that's the Aston Martin. What is the Aston Martin doing? What is he doing? You cannot you cannot do that, man. He's off. He's out. You cannot do that. That is dangerous weaving, and that's a safety car. He's just nearly forced I Like Beers into a wall on a straight. What on earth are you doing, you idiot? What on earth was that? He is a disgrace to driving, and he should not be allowed to race for the near future until he can realise that not everything is about him, and that it's not about just crashing into the drivers that are around you. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Apologies for the language. But absolutely awful racing conduct there from the Aston Martin. No drivers opt to make their mandatory pit stops. To be fair, you could go to hards. I think you could go hards till the end here, if you wanted to go for a ballsy move. Because safety car's going to come in at the end of safety car shenanigans as always. I think that someone could have come in there, unless they're going to come in at the end of this lap, which would be a less ideal situation for them. And now, we've got broadcast on. Shit, I forgot to turn it off of broadcast safety car. Again, apologies for the language. I just can't help swearing. I completely forgot to change it off of the broadcast safety car. Whoops. Oh well. All it's going to do is slim down the length of the race. As now we're coming on towards lap 5. Great camera angle here of a grandstand and an ambulance. That's probably what Finn's going to be needing after he had some questionable racing conduct there. Are we going to see it? I don't think we're going to see safety car in this lap. I think we'll see it the next time round. Or is it? What on earth is this? Oh, safety car is in this lap. That is an awful camera angle. I'm going to go on board with Sinyo to see when he goes. When is he going to drop the clutch? When is he going to drop the anchor? When is he going to drop the bomb and go off this restart? He's going to go right on the line now. The driver's steamed towards turn 1. Who's going to be getting in the lead here? JD Boy up to 3rd place. Squash Designs up to 4th. But now who's going to take the lead? Is it going to be Sinyo or is it going to be Limpan in towards T1? They go through the corner together. Who will be the one who comes out in the lead? That's the McLaren of Squash Designs into P1. Bollard's going everywhere. Damage for one of the drivers. I don't know who that was. But now Limpan to the inside of Sinyo. Is he going to make the move? Is he going to make it stick? Or is Sinyo going to be able to keep it around the outside or potentially try to switch back in towards the S's? He doesn't. It's Limpan in the lead as we come in towards the rest of the middle sector. Oh, a spin for Limpan. They came together, him and the Mercedes. I'm not sure who was at fault for that. There may have been a lag spike because it didn't seem like they were that close. Sinyo's dropped back down to P2 and Squash Designs, who I think restarted this, so I was in the centre car restarting last, is now up into 1st, and now that's Sinyo trying to send a move, being very over-optimistic there. Another Bollard goes absolutely flying here. They're just all over the place, these drivers. Limpan's got to try and make a move on the Sauber, but he's got great defensive work there from JD Boy, and he's all over the shop. He's like a bull in a china shop, like a Red Bull in a china shop there, off the exit of turn 12, but now into the inside into 13. You never see a move there, but he's made one there. Overtaker being used off the exit of the corner. I'd love to see what was going on, but look, the Sauber is not giving up, and this is absolutely commendable from the Sauber. Look at this, JD Boy, he's like, I am not giving up without a fight, and another Bollard goes absolutely flying as we enter the lap 7. DRS is enabled, but not on this straight just yet, because the detection point was before the start-finish line. And now, Sinyo in towards turn 1, tries to take the lead off of Squash, but he's going to get it done. Squash leaves in the room on the exit. That's the move made for Sinyo, but I think they will be the McLaren getting DRS this time round because of the detection points on the circuit. He's not going to send a move. Surely, oh, he is! He's going to send a dive on the inside, but he doesn't make it work, and that's a Sauber trying to go for on the inside of him. So the Sauber goes into P2 and a barge and a shove from Squash to keep him in line there. The Sauber goes off. I'm not sure if he has damage of some sort, but now the Red Bull's off. That's Limpan. Limpan spins again, same place as before. But that section, the S's and the hairpin, is not a good section for Limpan because now he's spun out. Not sure if there was a stack up there mid-corner, but Sinyo has damage, and yet he's still pulling away from the cars behind. So Limpan needs to hope that the guys in front of him get held up behind a damaged car, a wounded Mercedes of Sinyo. But now we make our way in towards the last sector. A third of the way through this race already. We've had a lot of action. I like Beers just slowly in the slipstream. He knows that the man in front of him has a time penalty. So it's a case of, will he use that to his advantage, or will he still try and go for moves just as if he was not, if he did not have that penalty? As now JD Boy into the pit lane, presumably to sort out some wing damage, because that would otherwise be, actually no, it could be a scheduled pit stop, but that's him probably going from the softs to the mediums. Limpan all this way behind, 6 seconds behind. He may have some sort of damage, but Squash Designs trying to go for the move round the outside here in towards turn 4, but doesn't make it. The Sauber trying to pounce on his hesitation there to go for the move, but it doesn't make it work. The top 3 within 4 tenths of each other here. JD Boy comes out of the pits. He's trying to undercut these drivers, but into the inside goes I Like Beers. He's not going to make it into turn 8. That's not a conventional overtaking spot, and you can see why. He's lost a lot of ground off the exit of the corner. Squash Designs close behind the guy in front of him, but that's allowed I Like Beers to catch right back up again because of how slow Sinyo is. He is so slow off the exit through some of these corners. With that wing damage, it will be particularly prolific in the long corners and the difficult braking zones. So basically the entire Bahrain is long corners and difficult braking zones. He will be suffering through these parts of the circuit. As Squash Designs went off there, that's definitely a track limits warning. And that's definitely... He is all over the shop in terms of track limits. I'm going to actually have a look. He's only had one warning this lap. He's not even had a warning this lap. How? To be fair, he may have just been lifting off, or he may have not gained any time by doing such things. As now we move on towards lap 9 here. The top three, line astern, and Squash Designs decided not to follow Sinyo with the slipstream this time. Not going to allow I Like Beers to go for a move, and he does. Round the outside, he's looking, but will he get the move to stick? Round the outside, he's going to try and get the under and over on him. Coming off the exit, but now the McLaren has tried to go for the move on the Mercedes. He's not going to make it work, but this could be a free wide in towards T4, and I think the Mercedes knows it. He's trying to block. He's trying to find a place where he can go to the inside, but he's not going to make it work. And they go wide, and that's the Sauber going through, I thought. It wasn't the Sauber going through. It was the Mercedes and the McLaren still going side by side through the S's. Great fighting between the pair. And up to the inside goes Sinyo. He's going to try and make that stick. Will he make it move? This is like NASCAR, bumping and barging, and I love it. It's great racing here. What fantastic action here at Bahrain, and on the inside again. What a move. So sensational stuff here. My voice is going so high-pitched because it's just so fantastic to see the drivers pushing each other right to the limit without making significant contact. Oh my goodness, and Squash Designs does keep the lead just about, but now going side by side again. Oh my goodness, will these drivers actually try and get some action where they're not going side by side throughout the entire lap? Sinyo up into stays in P2 at the moment. 3-second time penalty for Squash. So they all have time penalties now. They all have time penalties. As I again go high pitch. They all have time penalties. That's not fucking Mickey Mouse. Apologies for language again. But Sinyo and I Like Beers both into the pits. I don't know why I Like Beers has come into the pits, because he's on the mediums. He's not going to try and go hard. Surely medium hard is not the strategy around here. Squash Designs. Sinyo is obviously replacing his front wing. I Like Beers maybe replacing a front wing. No, he's not. He's just going straight onto the hards. Why? You can do soft medium around here just fine. If Squash Designs, I think that's what Squash Designs is trying to do. But now JD Boy has undercut Sinyo because of his wing damage, and I think he might be trying to undercut his teammate. Remember, he's going to have the warmer tyres off of turn 1. He's also the only driver without the time penalty so far this race. He's going to have the DRS on his teammate. Whether these two work together is another matter, but he's currently in P3. Limpan has gained, he's also got past Sinyo because of Sinyo's damage, and he's currently gaining on the Sauber pair in front of him. Not much on track in terms of side-by-side action. I'm assuming Squash Designs will come in this lap. 23 seconds ahead of the pack. He hasn't made his stop yet. But if I was him, I'd go to mediums. There's no reason why these drivers have gone to hards. Like, even though all of them could have gone mediums to the end. If you can make 9 laps on softs, you can make 11 laps on mediums. You usually can make about 1.5 times the amount. That's usually the multiplier you apply for most tracks. So here, for example, you probably want to pit around lap 8, which is exactly where JD Boy pitted, and he managed to undercut the drivers around him. That is Squash Designs into the pit lane. Into the pits he comes. A fresh set of... He's going hard as well. Why? Have they got extreme degradation that I don't know about? Or are they just bottling the strategy here? I Like Beers is coming down the main straight, but is he going to have enough overspeed to get past Squash Designs? It looks like he does. He is going into the lead. Squash Designs might even be threatened for P2 here by JD Boy into turn 1. JD Boy will have the warmer tyres, but can he utilise those to great effect and make a move in towards turn 4? He will have the DRS. Squash Designs doesn't have the DRS, so he's not going to make a move into turn 4, but he will stick behind and he will potentially have a go in towards the next couple of corners or the next DRS straight. Obviously, his tyres are older. They are not at the same wear rate that Squash Designs has. But Squash Designs is struggling. Up the inside goes JD Boy into the hairpin. Oh, he just understeers and goes straight into the side of him. That's completely on him. You can't throttle up as early in the corner as you can when you're on the inside. That's such a shame. You can't throttle up as early as you can on the normal racing line as you do on the inside. You have to make sure you can turn your car and not just understeer directly into the side of the car in front of you. Unfortunately for him, that is a mistake on his part, which I had to hope. I don't think you can get side pod damage on reduced damage. So Yep, Limpan is now on the back of Squash Designs though. So it was JD Boy, is now Limpan trying to fight in towards the last corner. Oh, mistake from Squash Designs. That will allow Limpan through, surely. Both using overtake. But look at that, Limpan just cruises through. Not really a fight at all there, to be honest. Unless Squash Designs decides to send it into T1. Doesn't do so. So Limpan's now going to chase after the leader. I like beers. He was last at one point. Can he go from last to first? Can he do what John Watson nearly did at the 1983 United States Grand Prix West at Long Beach? He went from 22nd to first in the race at Long Beach. I don't know how he did it because that layout of the circuit was so bad and it was so slow and narrow and just naff. But he made up 21 positions. Very underrated driver John Watson was. We now coming towards the second sector, and it has died down the action a little bit. Oh, that's Sinjo going wide. Sinjo gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He did a Lewis Hamilton off of that corner. Remember what Lewis was doing in 2021 with his track limits antics at turn 4, and he also went wide at turn 10. So we're on lap 12 here, soon be on lap 13. Limpan is definitely gaining. Limpan is on a charge. The Bull is on a charge here. He's getting corner by corner even. It's not even close. So that lap was a 1 minute 33.2 for I Like Beers. And it was 132.4 for Limpan. Here we go. He is gaining about 8/10 a lap, I think. Yep, 8/10 a lap. So he'll be with them in about 3 laps time. Not if he keeps doing snaps of oversteer like that. He's now over pushing the limits of the car. He needs to stop doing that. You were doing well just as you were, mate. So Sinjo is catching up to Squash Designs. Meanwhile, JD Boy has wing damage. He should have come in for that. That is enough to come in for. Come in to replace your front wing and hope for a safety car is what I'd say. He has no... It's just a plank of wood, basically, on the right-hand side of his front wing. It may as well be a plank of wood. But now, Sinjo, right behind the McLaren, nearly pushes him through turn 9 and 10. He'll get the better exit. No, he won't. Bit of a twitch on the exit there for the Mercedes driver. Can he get the move in towards turn 11? No. He can't, unfortunately. Look how close they are. Pushing him, basically, through turns 12 and 13. Coming up towards... This obviously isn't a DRS straight. But we will be coming up to one next. There'll be a prime opportunity. Limpan hasn't gained on that lap. Poor lap from Limpan. 32.9 to a 33.0. In fact, he lost time on that lap. Poor lap from Limpan. He needs to be more consistent this time around. Overtake deployed for Sinjo, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. It's definitely not going to be enough. He does send it, though. That's not enough. Yeah, I'll say there's no way he's sending that move and getting it done. He does get good traction off the corners, though. So in towards turn 4, he will look for a potential move of the inside. It switches to the outside. Great dummy there. If he can make it work around the outside of the corner, he's got a lot of faith in the McLaren. He does so, and he's going to try and fight his way through. Fight, and he's got ahead on the exit of the corner, but there's always contact. Oh, it seems that he... Oh, okay. There was contact between the pair that might have ruined what potentially would have otherwise been a great move. JD Boy is struggling so much. I don't know why he hasn't decided to come into the pits. But Squash Designs and Sinjo came together. It was bound to happen. Sinjo's a very aggressive defender and a very aggressive attacking driver as well. Limpan is gaining. Limpan is gaining on I Like Beers in front of him. But now losing time. He needs to stop with the inconsistency. He's faster. It's clear that he's faster. But he can't seem to produce it lap after lap after lap. And part of being fast is being consistent. 1.7 seconds the gap now. And as long as he can get in that DRS of the car in front of him, he'll basically be pulled along, and any mistakes he makes will be rectified, as long as he can keep around 6 tenths behind in the middle sector. 3 tenths lost through that turn 1 section. It seems that I Like Beers is trying, but look, on the exits he gets such a good run. Losing more time for the middle sector. Oh, sorry, coming into the middle sector now. 30.0 for him. I'm not sure exactly how that stacks up against I Like Beers. Squash Designs gets a 3-second time penalty. This race might be decided on penalties, you know. The leaders are only on 6, or only on 3 actually. I'll keep an eye on the warnings for each driver. Oh, Limpan has 1 warning since his last penalty, whereas I Like Beers has 0. So, I Like Beers has the advantage in terms of penalties. We're moving towards the last corner on the circuit. 1.5 seconds the gap now. What was the time? The time was a 1 minute 32.8. So, yep. I Like Beers is definitely stepping his game up. He was in the 33s earlier on in the run. He's now up into the 32s. He knows he has to perform well if he's going to beat Limpan. Limpan lost a lot on that straight though. He lost about 4 attempts on that straight. I think he has more downforce on his car, which might provide a difficulty overtaking. He might have difficulty overtaking the driver in front of him. And now we make our way into the rest of the lap, and Limpan is not gaining enough. He gained 8 attempts on that 1 lap, which was a really good game, and then I Like Beers just stepped his game up. He's just keeping him at 1.5 to 1.9 seconds. Limpan needs to do better if he wants this win. He's not even saving up his ERS. Meanwhile, I Like Beers is. I Like Beers is making smart decisions here out in front. Yep. Limpan is definitely slower on the straights here. I Like Beers gets up to 188 before he breaks for turn 1. Meanwhile, Limpan is struggling to hit 185. That means he will have more downforce on his car, which means he has better exits from the corners, which is especially potent in these sections of the circuit. He's currently following in the tracks of I Like Beers in front of him, but at the moment he's going to have to hope for a mistake for the Sauber driver, because at the moment he's not catching up enough. 1.5 is going to get down to 1.4 even as we come in towards this part of the circuit. No. Not even in the downforce part. Actually, now he does, but not even in the downforce part of the circuit is he really gaining astronomical amounts of time. They both have a similar amount of ERS now. Limpan is slowly gaining, but it's not going to be enough at the moment. Oh, loses the back end there. There's a bit more time loss. In fact, there wasn't even time loss. He gained time there. So that might have been another warning for Limpan. .4 of a second gap, the gap now. He knows he needs to deploy some ERS on these straights. Overtake does not work in 7th gear, mate. I'm sorry. You gain a lot more by deploying it in lower gears than you do in higher gears. So you gain more overall time, which is what he needs. He needs to deploy off the exit of his corners like here. And then stop deploying it around 6th or 7th gear because you just don't gain enough. Like the trade-off is not Well, because more horsepower is more effective at lower speed. Like, you'll gain more time being able to go from 0 to 60 quicker than you will be going 5 miles an hour faster down a straight. Or even 10 miles an hour faster down a straight. So off of here is another good... Yep, there we go. Good deployment of the RS there. Not in 6th gear or 7th gear though. Don't know why he keeps dabbing on and off the RS in 6th and 7th gear, because it's really not helping him. Off of all of these slow corners, he needs to be doing it just a little bit. Because that will get him in DRS, and then he can save once he's in the DRS. Don't know why he's using it on a straight. That's not going to help you out, my friend. Oh, losing the back end. Loses a tenth or so, and now he's going to lose even more. I mean, he's using overtake on a straight again. Don't need to. Good turn 1, 2 and 3. Very good turn 1, 2 and 3. That he gained a tenth through there. He could still be on this for a final lap overtake if he can just get in the DRS soon. You know what they say, diamonds are made under pressure, but can he make a move from this lead under pressure? Can he make his move into the DRS zone under pressure? Very confident as he swings through the S's and into the hairpin. He went a bit deep there, but he might have DRS as we come off of the hairpin. He knows that he's close. He's got it. I think he's got it. He does. He's got the DRS now. That's what he needed. Deploy overtake. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. He will now be able to keep with I Like Beers through this last sector much better than he has been previously, as long as he can keep in the DRS now. I Like Beers doesn't have enough, he doesn't have the same amount of DRS. I'd deploy it off of this corner if I was him. He's doing so, he's doing everything he needs to do to get into this fight for the lead. 8 tenths now. 7 tenths. DRS is enabled. We are going on to the final lap of this race. Here we go. This is going to be a battle for the ages. Who is going to come out on top? Limpan shouldn't be able to make a move into turn 1. He's not close enough. He's better on the brakes. He's more confident. But he clobbers the curb, which isn't going to help him. He's not going to get the best run off of turn 4, off of turn 2, off of turn 3, I don't think either. But can he make the move into 4? No, he stays behind. He's going to wait for the middle sector. Or potentially a dive bomb up the inside into 8. He's again not got the best run off there. Following right in the trail tracks of the Sauber in front. He keeps outbraking himself. Oh, just loses the back end there. That might be his chance over, because that was another 2 tenths or so lost. Over the curbs he comes. He has the overtake button deployed. He's got more overtake. He can just pretty much deploy to the end of this race now, I think. Out of this corner will be a perfect opportunity. But I think it's too little too late. He's not deploying it. Why? Why are you not deploying it? You've got pretty much all of the opportunities in the world to deploy it. He's coming up towards the last part of the circuit where he can even make an overtake, and he's not using his ERS. What a stupid idiot. Coming in towards the final braking zone, up towards it now, but it's too late. It's too late. He hasn't got the time. He's left it a little bit too late. If he'd have caught up like a straight before, it might have happened for him. Deploying overtake to the line, but it's not going to be enough. I Like Beers is going to win the first Z2 race here of the season. Limpan only 2 tenths of a second behind. One driver who fell out of the equation after a front wing change and just not really being up to the same pace as the leaders and just in general being aggressive and dirty. Sinyo, then Squash Designs, who briefly attained the lead, is 4th. JD Boy tried a different strategy, but got a front wing damage and then left the session. That concludes the race here then. So we make it into the podium celebrations. I mean, I just skipped past them accidentally, but oh well. What are these fastest lap times? That's a very big glitch. Oh well. I'll quickly go through the race director so we can see people's actual lap times, so we can conclude who actually got the fastest lap. Yeah, those are your fastest laps. But I like Beers as the winner here, followed by Limpan, Sanyo, Squash Designs, JD Boy, and Finn. With that, I think that concludes the stream. I'm not sure if I'll be back for the Z1 race because apparently there's some issues with commentary with that. But, wow. I'm going to go and get some food because that was a great race, and a drink because my mouth is dry as hell. But without further ado, I've been Nedzo. Sorry, I'm Nedzo, and I'll see you all later. Bye!